So the poster boy for low testosterone has got fatigue, number one, sleep disturbance, achy joints and sore muscles. Later, a mixture of irritability, anxiety, and depression, one or two or all three. And then much later on, erectile dysfunction. So the symptoms come on in sort of that order. And because there's so many different symptoms, people don't understand it's low testosterone. They're trying to treat each individual thing instead of treating the root cause of the problem. And even now, so many doctors don't understand testosterone. Hormones are really fairly poorly done. It's interesting that 75% of doctors in the United States and Canada say, oh, testosterone, we're not going to talk about that because that'll cause prostate cancer. Abe Morgenthaler is a doctor. He grew up in Toronto. His dad was a gynecologist who I knew. Abe was professor at Harvard University, and in 2003, Abe proved that testosterone replacement doesn't cause prostate cancer. And here we are 16 years later, and 75% of the docs in USA and Canada still says it does, and that's why they won't talk about it. And they're looking for several different drugs to treat all of the problems, because they'll treat the depression, they'll treat the achy joints and sore muscles, they'll treat the sleep disturbance, and they don't put it all together and realize this is a single cause of this. And 95% of men in my men's clinic at some point have had a head injury that's knocked out their hormones. What are the downsides in testosterone therapy? There are none. Guys that are teenagers have huge levels, and nobody cares. And all of our hormones are identical to what the man made, so these aren't foreign drugs. We're replacing a hormone just like you would replace gas in your tank. And you'd never run your car and say, well, it's out of gas, I'm not going to fix it. So why do people take better care of their cars and their bodies? Because they don't understand what goes on. So everything we're doing in the men's clinic is restoring hormones, because a head injury can knock out thyroid, it can knock out other hormones. And so we've got a very complete approach. It's not only testosterone, it's fixing the hormones, and then we have a long list of supplements that are incredibly important to reduce rapid brain aging, which men get from head injuries. So things like vitamin D, omega-3 fish oils, which make up 60% of the brain, and it's important not to run out. B-complex vitamins are all anti-inflammatories, because most aging is inflammation. Testosterone is a strong anti-inflammatory, estrogen in women is a strong anti-inflammatory. And all these anti-inflammatories that we're using get into the brain, and they slow brain aging, which means they will reduce Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's and the other things that people worry about. Well, now you can do something about it. The main reason to go on testosterone is not to treat the symptoms. The main reason to go on testosterone is to reduce the risk of stroke and heart attack. I saw 3 men the same week, age 35, 36, and 37, and their testosterone levels were what I considered low. The range for testosterone when you're 20 to 30 is 8 to 38. Well, that's a stupid range, because the guy at one end of the range has got 5 times more than the other guy. So these ranges are crazy. The bottom end of the range is as low as 3% of the population. Nobody wants to score 3 on a health exam. And so we optimize them, just like tuning your car to 8 cylinders. And we're not going to say, oh, well, tuning to the 3 cylinders and that's good enough, because you're running on 1 cylinder. And so we put men on testosterone, but get them in the upper range. There is no downside to doing that at any stage in their life. And often the blood tests will say, well, when you turn 30, the range dropped to 6 to 26. Well, wait a minute, where did the 38 go? Anybody under 28 has a higher death rate. And at 30, they don't even want you to be in that range. And so this is one of the fallacies. So many doctors, oh, you're in the range. And the question should be, what's the optimal range? And it's usually in the upper 25% of things that are good, and the lower 25% in things that are bad, like your cholesterol levels. And so that's exactly what we're doing in the men's clinic, is restoring testosterone to ideal levels.